Try that again. Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Let me hurry make sure that my volume's off here. It's good to see everybody's here. I see there's been some chat. And so, Carmen, here first. Thank you for being first. Love you, brother. Lot of stuff going on for a lot of people right now. It's been kind of an intense couple of days uh, for everybody. I have been talking to a variety of individuals, and a lot of people have close people in their lives, like spouses and loved ones in this way, as well as, farther out that are having experiences similar to what we would call, in a 3D sense, I would suppose, kind of like a nervous breakdown kind of energy. And then there are those of us that are just kind of riding the wave. If you're one or the other, you're not doing anything wrong exactly. It's just some of us have been doing this a little bit longer. It's really how it works out. So um, I know a lot of us have individuals like this in our lives that, just they just need reassurance. The best thing that we can do is just be there for them. And then also not be there for them, meaning, it's not your responsibility to carry somebody. Um, so we have a couple of different things happening astrologically that's impacting us in a very real way. However, this isn't the only reason that we're feeling the way that we are. We're in the ascension, man. You know, we're leaving behind density. The I love the analogy, the example of having to leave behind extra baggage. That there's only so many suitcases that you can take onto a specific train, and then in these different train stations, we're finding that we need to purge one more baggage, one more thing that is kind of holding us back, holding us down. So on top of it, it's everyone already feels what they're saying. If already feels Lionsgate, which I would say is true. I'm feeling it too. However, on top of that, the Syrian Gateway begins on Tuesday. The Syrian Gateway is similar in some ways to Lionsgate in that the Syrian sun lining up with our sun Sol creates this amplified sending of signal energy coming from our sun. So whatever our sun's giving us is amplified by at least 10. Um, and a quick announcement before we get started on the questions is that this Tuesday, which is this opening of the of the Syrian Gateway, I'm meeting, or we're all meeting through like a Zoom meeting with Guardian to do to channel the Tehute. They're a group of 12, the Syrian group, and you can come and have ask really any question that you'd like. It was really cool last week. It was really awesome how many people showed up and how respectful and beautiful it was. So it's not recorded or aired. So if you do want to be there or participate in some way, you will be. It's being present is how this is done. It's a Zoom meeting that will be at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m. UK, 4 a.m. AEST. So like Eastern Australia is 4 a.m. I know it's pretty early. This is the latest we could have it, being that Guardian is in Romania. He's in Transylvania, so that's the latest he could do it. He is joining later than he normally does in order to help accommodate a later time zone. So any of y'all who want to join us, please come. It's going to be awesome. You will find that link in the description, or excuse me, you will find that link in the community section of this YouTube channel, and on my Facebook platform, as well as the Telegram one. I'm waiting for him to say yes. That sounds good. How I worded it, so I haven't posted it yet, but I have it all prepared. So it'll be within the next little bit. So let's really quickly. A weird energy I've detected surface this morning. I'm trying to figure it out, says Edward. Yeah, I had it too. I had some really interesting energies coming in right now. There's a few different things happening astrologically speaking. We're looking forward to. I think it's tonight. It's / tomorrow is the conjunction of Moon and Mars. Moon is Artemis. It's Diana, right? And so having this conjunction with Mars, the divine masculine embodiment, is really impacting a lot of people. We're moving into by the end of the week the new moon, but it kind of already feels like the new moon. We've been having some cool meteors making their way over our heads, and many of us have been able to see it with our eyes. I wasn't able to get a clear shot, like I couldn't take a picture of it, but it was really cool to go up and to go out and see that. So there's more going on. We're getting a surprisingly large number of meteors right now. So that's really interesting. And it really does affect it, though. We're in ascension, dude. We're doing this, and so this shift that we're in right now, most of this astrological stuff for me is simply a road sign, mile markers, another way of putting it, just to show us where we're at. And we're here. I'm really excited. And so is spirit. The energy coming from spirit is an excited energy, like excited that you're here. You're going to finally open the present I've been waiting for you to open, and I picked just for you, and all this kind of stuff. If that's what it feels like, I often jump on that bandwagon of excitement, and then I'm surprised by, sometimes it feels like work, emotionally speaking. So just knowing that, it's those of us who are accepting the purging and releasing of things, you'll notice things coming up right now, like almost like flashbacks, moments, experiences that are leaving. Man, the irritability and the emotion that's coming up, just surprising. It feels almost as unstable as that real emotional part of PMS. So there's a lot of that going on for many people. The sudden realization of the fact that many of the things that we took for as truth as a species, being revealed the past few weeks and so on, and continuing to do so in the next little while. This is leading to this heightened experience collectively. So we're feeling a lot of people kind of getting mad, and very just confused, and a lot of that kind of energy. And that's leading to this solar plexus, this anxiety, this solar plexus activation that a lot of people are having right now. The solar plexus is the area that's above your belly button. That's that golden yellow color. And allowing yourself to introduce those types of things into your life, the color of the of yellow, eating things that are yellow. Even if lemon isn't your favorite, just having it a wedge on the edge of your glass really changes it. Changes. It's called color therapy when we do this. When we introduce colors, even wearing things. Sometimes we'll even pick certain like plates and cups and things like that correspond with the color that's being activated in the chakra area, and that will help us. So it's something useful to keep in mind. Haynes says, anyone feeling it's hard to breathe, I am exhausted, have a lot of itching on my skin. I really hope the grand solar flash is coming very soon. It is really hard. Yeah, thank you for your comment. I'm catching up on the comments that were written before I went live. I can't see it here when they're written before the live begins. So the breath area. So there's been a lot more purging of this mucus, but I do know exactly, like it's like almost like a dry cottony feeling. I'm having it too. It's been kind of unpleasant. I know. So what they gave me was an analogy having to do with coming out of the water from the depths of the ocean and surfacing, that your body kind of needs to find its own balance in a new frequency. A lot of we're here. We're in a new place energetically. It's like stepping foot on a new planet. So our bodies are adjusting in that. Though the one that I really resonated with had to do with the skin. Let's talk about that for a minute. So the purging that we're having right now is a lot. So most of us just kind of respond to expecting that will be through going to the bathroom. And that is true. It does happen this way, though many of us are having it move through and out the surfaces of our skin, through the pores. It's affecting the hair follicles, causing these like little bumps like acne kind of, and just this itchy stuff. My experience has been that it's been tickly. My skin feels tickly. It's not unpleasant. It's just kind of annoying because you're constantly like, what's on me? There's somebody, and off the top of my head and my arms are probably the most pronounced ones. The activations of the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. I would say pretty much everybody's probably having that. I know I am really strongly. And when I do this way, a lot of times other people are having it simultaneously. This is to do with the activation of healing, self-healing, the ability to realign your own energy and frequency. So it's really cool. One of these days, I think I perhaps will start doing these smaller, like almost like workshop kind of little short videos that aren't live, that are pre-recorded, just to assist people in kind of doing some of this stuff. A lot of these things are what I do in conversation with others, like in the group Zoom meetings that we do, in sessions. We'll do healing, or we'll teach others how. It's a lot of different things that you already have access to. So yeah, the skin stuff has been really weird. You'll notice that the sweat feels different that's coming out of your body right now. It has like this different texture. It's a delivery system sweat to guide out these toxins. Another word for toxins is parasite, and they weren't perhaps disharmonious to us before, when now they are. And so it's like, okay, it's time to go. And this one part of this is also the mucus leaving, the difficulty in breathing. So thank you for your comment. Let's see. I think I might be just about caught up to the questions. Kylie, hi, beautiful. I love you. Energy has been so whack lately. Having a hard time feeling comfortable in my body. Hard to focus. Hard to balance. Got a migraine yesterday for the first time ever. Oh, wait, it's up here already. Okay, cool. I already caught up. Okay, so now I can close my phone. Let me go up here. Okay, let me grab you. Thank you so much for your comment, Kylie. All right, so yeah, the energy has been so whack. I love that. That's the way that you worded that. It has been very intense. And we have some more, coming up around the corner here. This is like the swell. Like in music, it's like, it's getting up there. And so that's what we're doing right now. So we're getting this. I would say the crescendo has a couple of different points, like the loudest part, one of which is on Tuesday. Another one is this coming weekend. So full week from now, there's going to be another crescendo. We also have, so there's the 7/7 portal. I believe that's on Sunday. Yeah, that's correct. And the day before it, or 2 days before it, the day Friday is the new moon. Like all of these things. And then also Neptune retrogrades on Tuesday. Mercury conjuncts Pluto. Yeah. on Tuesday. And then there's a surprising number of conjunctions coming through the next few weeks, and even the rest of the month. So yeah, the energy's whack. Feeling uncomfortable, hard to feel comfortable in my body. Me too. I would say most of us are doing this. I was talking to somebody last night about this, comparing notes. Somebody was talking to me about witnessing their partner having this, and I was having the same thing. The way I worded it was, I feel like almost like my addictive personality or addictive part of who I am or who I've been it was like being inspired, and I don't participate in a lot of those other kind of things anymore. So what I ended up doing was I kept going and looking in my fridge. Not that I was hungry or that anything that was actually appetizing particularly in there. It just, there was a consume. Like, what do I do? What do I do with myself? And so again, I ended up not eating because I am not having an appetite. That's what made that behavior so odd, is that I haven't had an appetite for a little while now. I'm not the only one having this, though many people are having the other way, where they're finding all of a sudden they just want to eat everything, which I would say I was doing both, right? Just not even just really sure what to do, almost like this nervous energy. What I kind of how I described it was, it feels like I'm pacing and waiting to say surprise at a surprise party, and everyone's like 19 hours late. It's that kind of feeling. You're just like, what do I do with myself? Hard to focus, hard to balance. Yeah, yeah. Hard to also remember what we're doing, losing because the focus is so scattered. Hard to remember what we're even in the middle of doing. Got a migraine for the first time in forever. I actually did also too. I wouldn't have called it a migraine. It was just this dull, non-stop. There was no relief. Headache that just was really annoying, and it wouldn't go for a bit. The place that where most people are having it has to do with this third eye area and the temples, as well as the top of the head. So everybody has their own thing, though. I'm still finding that the band across the forehead thing is a thing. Like, I'm still having that experience. Typically, it doesn't feel like a full band. It feels like it's either one side or the other. And lately, it's been a lot of divine masculine stuff. The right side of the body is the divine masculine. The left side of the body is the divine feminine side, right? And so knowing what side of the body it's happening in is part of the information being passed to you. We are activating, stabilizing, grounding the energy of the divinity of the genders at this point. So there's a lot happening there too. So thank you so much for your comment. A lot of people are having, especially the headache thing. I've heard a high report about that. The arm stuff. So like this energy that's moving down in a weird way, and it feels kind of achy. It does feel a little bit uncomfortable when it's happening. Is connected somehow to this, is what I was told when I asked about it from my guides. They were like, yeah, it's the same thing. It has to do, it's the flow of the energy and letting it dig down. If you look at your own energetic body, most of us will notice that there's like a traffic jam, I guess, of energy closer to the base of our body, like not able to fully move down because it hasn't been guided. So all we need to do to help ourselves with that, we do a lot of grounding practices and think that will be it. The visualization to guide your energy, like roots of a tree down into the ground, down into Gaia, really helps this. It really does. Gaia takes on the energy and helps to transmute whatever isn't serving us. Though what's the most powerful part about that is it stretches it out. It's like a long string. Oh, she took my, well, I can use this. It's like at first your energy is like that, right? And it doesn't really, you can only see like edges of it. And then allowing yourself to dig it down, it stretches it out. And you're like, oh, okay, release. And it feels so much better in this way. Excuse me. So allowing yourself to do that really helps. It's, most of us understand, I would say, on some level, that we're just going to be feeling some stuff for a little while right now. But there are things that we can do to help ourselves. I'm noticing I need more water, more salt, more. I would say I'm surprised by how much I'm being encouraged to go out where other people are at the same time to withdraw in some way, to like pull into my own energy. So it's really conflicting feeling, but it's true, So what we're doing is we're going out and going for walks in areas where there are people, and then retreating. So this is connecting with others without having to be inundated by their energy. So I don't know. Lavender Moon energetics. Hello. The energies have been intense. Yeah. I feel like I'm smuggling cell phones on vibrate. Yeah, the vibration of the body, especially in the core of the body. That's where people will feel it at first. Usually the core meaning like, I don't know, I guess just about the solar plexus area of the body. The solar plexus has a surprising number of activations that's occurring right now. It looks kind of like the top of the canopy of a tree. There's so many different arms, energies that are all connected, kind of like a neural network inside your brain, and you'll see an example of that. And so those nubs, the tips of it, go out throughout the rest of your body, right? And this area is really where people will start to feel it the most pronounced first. We are conduits of energy, of this plasma that's moving through, which also assists. The way to assist this again is to increase your water content, the amount of water that you're taking in. Salt helps with hydration. I've been learning to do this more regularly, putting salt underneath my tongue and then having the drink of water. Or even, by the way, that this other part of it, it's a different symptom, but it really helps, is we're having gum related discomfort. Even individuals who don't have teeth in that area of their mouth anymore, the gum is just really feeling unpleasant, like as if there was like an abscess tooth almost in some cases. Salt rinses, swishing salt around in your mouth really helps. I mean, I would definitely encourage anyone to find the highest frequency salt that they can, but whatever you can afford. We don't choose to use table salt, ionized salt, for a variety of reasons. It just doesn't have, there's something off about it. I know that there's information that many of you already have about this. I don't actually have the knowledge about it because it didn't interest me. I just know that if we engage with table salt, it feels like the shock. It doesn't feel, my body doesn't want it. So pink Himalayan salt is the next tier up. And then above that, you got Celtic salt. Whatever it is that you're able to access, though, salt water, swishing that around in our mouths helps the gum discomfort. I would say I predictably get headaches in my gums when we're having solar flares. The geomagnetic storm that happened, people are saying that there wasn't enough solar flares to have, or CMEs to have caused that. And there is discernment useful in these moments to see that perhaps not all the information regarding the sun is being given us, as activity continues to occur on it. So just trust yourself, trust your own body. Your body will guide you. So I want to say hi to everybody. Denise is here, Angela's here, Sally's here, Teresa's here. Spiritual warrior, hello, beautiful people. Colleen, hi, Mila, love you too. Leah's here, hello, beautiful souls. Astra, hello, good to see you. Marianne, Claire, hey, from UK, good to see you. Angela, Astra, UK here too. Astra's from UK. Christina, hello, good to see you, sweetie. Yolanda Marie, I just popped in because I saw your lovely face and I want to feel this awesome group energy. It's so good to see you, Yolanda. There's been a lot going on in the area of the world that you've been in, and it's fascinating too that the path that you take, the different places in the country that you reside. There seems to be, I don't know if it's because you created it or it's just that's the natural channel, but there's this whole belt of energy happening. It's so good to see you. Welcome. Sue, do you feel the energies coming in? Heck yeah, dude. It's pretty intense. Northwest Florida, good to see you. Yeah. Oh, exhausted. Thank you for saying that. Exhausted again. Unbalanced feeling again, right? I would say it's really weird how this dizzy, vertigo, lightheaded. It feels like it feels like spatial disorientation, not being aware of where we are, of where the gravity is kind of how it feels. It feels kind of like I don't know, when you go into the gravitron and you're just like your spatial awareness is off. I'm encouraged in those moments to actually move. Those are the moments where they're like, okay, I know you don't want to get up right now, but you probably ought to go for a walk. And it's like, okay, I just hope, so This is my guidance. If you feel like that you will not be stable on your feet, please use your own understanding of your body and your abilities in those moments. We don't want to fall over and hurt ourselves too much if we can avoid it. So keeping that in mind, yeah, really unbalanced feeling. Also, I have a lot of bruises these past couple of days on my shoulders and legs from that very thing. I'm like walking through a doorway and just bonk, you know. Along with this, it seems like my eyes are out of focus. I just recently got I had to do the, I finally went, okay, I got to get a driver's license for Arkansas now that I live here. I've been here a while now. And so I went and did that. And I was really disappointed. They don't let you keep your driver's license. Anyway, from the previous state. Anyway, that it was good to see that my eyes were still, though it feels like my eyes are like blurry and I'm just feel like I'm having a harder time focusing. And then I'm finding out that I'm seeing more than I saw before. And so it's like, again, when we raise our so this is a frequency that we are moving toward, we're moving up to it, right? We always think that we go straight up when we actually do this. And I'm being very exaggerated to make a point, but it's real, it's like this, right? And the visual range of that starts below it. So you slowly start to see it and then it's gone again. And you still, like this kind of thing. And so it makes it appear as if our eyes are beginning to fail us. And what it is we're in a place where there are many more people, energies, beings, and things than we've been able to perceive or for some time. And now we're able to, people are talking about, wow, all these ETs are here and wow, look at all this ancient, where is all this stuff coming from? They're all of a sudden finding all of these ancient structures and megaliths and liths. And I'm finding it difficult to say a plural on that. So anyway, and just all these different things. And it's because we're able to now see it. It's coming into our visual range because we've raised our vibration. I mean, we've raised our frequency up to be able to see it. So it's really fascinating. So the eyes coming out of focus. I thought that had to do with the being off balance for a second. So that's why that kind of correlated to that. Claire, I'm loving this energy. I know it's pretty awesome. If you understand what's happening, I would say we're kind of having a bit of a party. Like, yeah, if there are others in our lives that don't fully understand what's happening, it could feel like you're babysitting, where you're babysitting an adult-sized child with way too much sugar in their system. That's kind of what it feels like for some individuals. I'm finding it's really peculiar too how many people are seeing us differently. It's weird. I can't count how many times now that people have whispered to themselves or to me. I'm not even sure. Are you real? Like not sure if they're seeing a real person when they're talking to me. And this is like in my real life. It's really, in physical. It's really weird. Flix, it's good to see you. Hello, Sue. Claire says, my ego is done, but my heart is so ready. Yeah. Allowing yourself to step away from your ego, step aside from your ego, your intellect is the way I like to word it. So we understand there's use of the word ego in different ways. And it helps me to understand what I'm talking about. The more we can step aside and let our intellect move aside and everything naturally occur, we start to find these profound experiences are occurring. Those of you who don't meditate, I encourage you strongly to do so, if at all possible, during the afternoon. This time of year, the best time to meditate is actually about now, if you're on this side of the hemisphere. I've found, okay, let me say that differently. Afternoon, because even on this side of the hemisphere, like in the UK, it's like, what is that, like 9 or 8 o'clock? So 8:30, around like 1 o'clock this time of year into 2 o'clock, you'll find that depending on the season and where we are in the season, the best time to meditate changes. It shifts with the seasons. And so, like for instance, the coldest time of the year, the deepest into winter, I find that to be more about between 1 and 3 o'clock, and then it slowly matures into a later and later time. Anyway, so if you can, meditate in the afternoon. I know it's really hard for most of us. We've been kept in this 9 to 5 kind of situation on purpose to distract us from that. 5 minutes, so if you're at work, there's usually a bathroom stall or something like that. It doesn't have to be exactly at a specific time, though it's useful to be aware of like around lunchtime, right? So keeping that in mind. It's been really, really amazing, the kind of stuff that we're having in meditation. And also, by the way, when you're waking from slumber, for waking up in the morning, and also going to sleep, though, I would say waking is the most profound way to connect to your spirit guides, to connect to all of these different things, and to go deeper into trance and into understanding. Eric, I'm feeling all of it. And those road signs are going by fast, right? And I think, yeah, they're just, and it's just, you're right. It's happening so fast now. I kind of find it comical because most of us for a while have been like, I just want it to just be here. I just want it to just get past all this stuff. And now we're in super mode, we're in warp speed ahead, kind of period. And all of a sudden it's like, what? Well, we've been asking for this, so we're going to continue to get activations coming in from the sun. I was already told that we would have a pretty big, and when they say solar flare, I use the word solar flare kind of it's all encompassing. It talks about CMEs, geomagnetic storms. Wow, that was difficult to say. And so Spirit also translates this way for me as well. They've been telling me, excuse me, for some time. Got a tickle in my throat. Excuse me for just a moment. Thank you. That we were going to be getting a solar flare for Tuesday. This is the second Tuesday. They were saying that there's 2 Tuesdays, and this is bookends. When we get to the other side of this Tuesday, then there was going to be that was like, whoa, we're here, open that present now. And it turns out, there's a lot happening on that particular day, though yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, the CME that has left the sun is predicted to be reaching us by the 2nd. So that will be another big geomagnetic storm on top of Neptune going into retrograde. Saturn just went into retrograde, I believe, yesterday. I don't even remember what day it is right now. Yeah, it was yesterday. And also Mercury conjuncts on Tuesday. That's also the opening of the Syrian gateway. Hey, it's 234. Keep going. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. And so everything's speeding up really super fast. It's kind of a joke how many once in a lifetime astrological events have happened in my daughter's 9 years of life. You know what I mean? It's kind of a joke. When someone says that, I just kind of laugh. Sending you all lots of loves from Wales, UK. Thank you, Vegan Vixen. So good to see you. Janet, sad and mad, constantly readjusting to neutral 0 point. Yeah, I'm having that same thing too. I don't know about constantly, but I did note, I woke up that way today. We have this awesome little thing that we do, me and my daughter, is that if she wakes up before me, she'll come and climb into bed. Usually she will wake up before me and climb into bed just to go to sleep for a little bit longer. And it's always a lovely, amazing experience, though both of us seemed pretty irritated with each other. And we don't have that happen. We don't ever have that happen, really. And just sensing that and noticing that, it was something to be aware of. Something that just happened. The reason we have this elastic band is I wanted to show you guys because of what you're talking about here. There are things that we typically don't address, not because we are choosing not to address it, simply because it's just, unless there's something that an outside force that assists us. And so this contrary energy would be something that would hold us down, right? It would kind of anchor us. If we didn't have this catalyst to assist us, then when we released, it wouldn't have any kind of effect. We wouldn't actually be propelled anywhere. Though, if there is something that's anchoring us, pulling us back, our resistance, our I'm done and I'm going to do something about this energy pulls it over and allows for us to be propelled. These catalysts often are, considered to be things to avoid, relationships that are unfavorable to the emotional, balance of life and our experience and so on and so forth. Though they're really there as servants. I don't encourage anyone to go find an unbalanced relationship or anything like that. In fact, I'm quite happy being a spinster and not having to negotiate my life or share my world with anyone more than a couple of hours a day. You know what I mean? But everybody's got their thing. However, relationships isn't always romantic. It's also individuals in our lives. It's also, shared space, in other ways. So we might find we're more irritable with individuals right now because they are coming in as these catalysts to assist us. So, adjusting to the energies, exhaustion. Thank you for bringing up exhaustion. Excuse me. I'm having this tickle. This has to do with it went away, by the way, for those of you who didn't. It went away and now it's back. But it's this mucus thing. Adjusting to the energies, exhaustion. Let's get those adjuster bracelets that contactees get when visiting higher vibe craft. So much easier. Man, I was asking about that, and what my guys had said, that the pill mentality, they start talking about the pill mentality. I don't know if this is an official word or thing that people know about. It's something new to me that makes a lot of sense, though. Pill mentality is assuming there must be a way to simply take a pill and be better. Those weight loss pills that have come through over the ages. If you take this pill, then all of a sudden you'll be better. And then you read the fine print. Well, then you actually have to do something to be healthy too, like eating better and exercising. It's the same kind of concept, though. There's been intentionally an embedded belief system in our culture that has taught people to think that they could just, take a pill and it's all. There is underlying trauma that needs to be seen. That's what we're all doing in a rapid way right now. I know a lot of you know my background that I'm just going to briefly touch on. I was a sex slave from when I was 4 years old till I was 14. And then there was a lot of other things that happened, just like a lot of you guys. We all have our trauma. And until I was able to, I allowed myself to address each thing, going back into those moments in my own mind, in my own, place, and to take back my power and letting myself see those things instead of ignoring them, letting myself shift what was inside my head about those things and in my emotional body about those things. Then I was a victim. And then on the other side of that, then there was no victim in the story at all. Not to say that the things that happened were okay in any way. It's that I'm no longer, because fast forward how many years and you're still an individual, me, I was still being accosted over and over again, even though those individuals, maybe they weren't even alive any longer. You know what I mean? And I was still in this prison. I was still constantly, struggling through the post-traumatic stress disorder of it, the flashbacks of it, the pain, and all of it for everybody. The answer for everybody. There is a real answer for everybody. Everybody. It has to do with low self-worth. Period. Once we can start to assist ourselves moving into a higher self-worth belief system, then all of the things they begin to resolve themselves, basically. They're all hinged on lowering self, seeing oneself lower, This is in a lot of our different things, like in many religions there's this humbling, lower than thou kind of stuff. There's this constant back and forth about this. Once we can start to allow ourselves to stand in our power, stand in our self-worth, and be able to say in those self-affirmations, believing it, no longer cringing when we say that we love ourselves, that we're awesome, and those types of things, the more that it can be resolved. It sounds simpler than it might feel, because many of us have a lot of hairs to pull, and only one hair at a time can be plucked, and so one thing at a time being addressed. And now we're in hyperdrive mode. So many of us, many individuals who haven't addressed these, my example may feel like, and it's an extreme example compared to others, though all of our pain threshold is exactly the same. What my pain felt like for somebody else whose worst thing that happened to them was that somebody they loved, like a parent or something, said that they were disappointed in them. It felt the same to them that it felt to me, because our pain thresholds were different, but it felt the same, right? And so those things need to be resolved. I would say out of everything, those who don't have a really big trauma previously, because we're no longer in that paradigm, we're leaving it behind and we're healing through this trauma. Those who didn't have this trauma to point at, an obvious thing to point at, are probably have a harder time, because they're not able to point at something as easily. A lot of times we'll not let ourselves, well, my situation wasn't as bad as so and so, or this person or that person. So, what am I complaining about, kind of thing, and then being dismissive to oneself and not letting themselves heal. And then, in order to get to the place where that's doable, is truly forgiving yourself. A lot of times we'll forgive others around us and we'll take responsibility onto ourselves. And we'll say, well, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have been there, or if I didn't do this, or if I did that instead, or whatever it is. Even if it's small, it still attaches to us and affects us. And so if we can allow ourselves to, as those things come up, and like those moments, those, again, cringe moments that happen, what happened in 7th grade or something like that, and to simply say aloud, I forgive you. You're saying your own name. Mila, I forgive you. That's my name. And, saying that to yourself really helps. Really, really helps. So I didn't mean to go on so long, but that's really important right now, because that's what most of, I would say, just about everyone who's struggling right now in a big way is due to the lack of resolving of this trauma. So, spiritual wackadoo, love your name. Exhausted, headaches, head pressure, strong third eye chakra pulling, sleepy. Yeah, that. Thank you. Yeah. The exhaustion is surprising to me, how deeply tired I really am right now, and how much I can sleep. I'm back again to this weird, I get into this nighttime thing where once you cross a certain threshold of time in the night and you're not asleep yet, you're probably going to be awake till 5 or so. I was awake till 6:30 this morning. I was still awake until that time today, and so it's really been weird, because throughout the day I was profoundly tired. I could have taken naps all day long. And then it's time to go to bed, and it's like there's a lot coming in right now. The geomagnetic storm that we just got kind of still feels like it's still doing its thing a little bit. We're able to hear things at a higher frequency things than we used to. I can hear electricity now, and it's not like one of those like electricity plant kind of things where it's obviously really loud. I mean, like, I'm hearing it. Like, it's you can hear these things, and they're really interacting with us and affecting us in some ways. If you're able to get away from Wi-Fi for periods of time in the day, it does help the headaches, the head pressure and the headaches. A lot of that is our third eye, our pineal gland, is currently kind of like in like a crash course gym beefing up kind of period right now, and so while that's happening, those things that we've been able to not really notice before, that didn't bother us as much before, are starting to, more than they did before. So if you don't turn off your Wi-Fi when you go to bed at night, maybe think about it. Think about doing it. Because, I mean, really, why would there be a need for Wi-Fi while you're sleeping? Turn off your router if you can, allowing yourself to have a little bit more calm and frequency. Another thing too, is putting your phone away from your head or away from your bed as much as you can. If you use it for an alarm clock, then making sure that it's on, if you can, on airplane mode. Pardon me, I'm just so these things can help us, and we're gonna be having a lot of this stuff happening. Watery eyes, thank you for saying that. I actually totally forgot to mention the watery part. It's been really weird. Like, I look like I'm crying, but I'm just kind of hanging out and just having a chat. And it's like, ooh, but it's just this weird, something's going on with our eyes more than it did before. So, infrared riding hood, I've had a blinking sensation on the bridge of my nose, a blinking sensation on the bridge of my nose. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Interesting. So a lot of people are getting this. I've not heard the nose one though before. Right here, is it white? I'm getting that. I just I've been noticing that like last night, almost all night long. Well, until I went to sleep. That's really interesting. People are getting are more able to perceive things that are in our frequency in our field. Raising our frequency also makes it so it's more possible. Typically, we'll first see these as like orbs of light, like this idea. They could be small, they could be large. Sometimes it looks like a shadow. It kind of maybe looks like someone's ducking from one room to another really quickly. Usually we'll see it through the corners of our eye, the peripheral vision in our periphery, before we'll see it in front of us. I would say also, most often it's the left side that we see first, that we're able to perceive before we see anything else. This has been slowly becoming more and more common over the past few years, though this month that we just moved through, we're now at the last day of the month, there's been more people who have started to see things than they ever did before. If it's a shadow, it doesn't mean it's bad, by the way. We typically correlate the word shadow with something unpleasant, something lower frequency and malicious. That's not always the case. In fact, I tend to see a shadow most often before I notice the individual. There would be a shadow, and then if you'll look at it a little bit closer, you'll see it looks kind of like this, just real fuzzy light around the person's form, the individual, the being's form. And what we're seeing in the shadow is the absence of the individual. Usually it's really kind of cool. And that real faded light around them, this silhouette of light, what we're seeing is their aura, their light body is glowing very brightly. And so they're just barely coming into view. And that's why it looks that way. Allowing yourself to focus on it a little bit and to just be in a place of peace and joy helps. If you're concerned about the energy, if it's, not sure if it's good or coming to assist you, the easiest way to do this, to figure out the answer to that question, is to send love to it. If it is of love, it will send back love amplified. If it is not of love, it will flee. For the shadow cannot stand before the light. It just can't. It's uncomfortable. In fact, it's been fascinating to watch how many people who have, just in the world around us, who have these little density, like gremlins or something. I don't know. They look kind of like if it was like kind of like a ferret. It's like a ferret. These are these little ferret things that crawl around them, but it doesn't really seem to move until they come into your field. And being in your field, because you're shining out such a bright love light out, it irritates these little densities, and they start to move around the individual. And you can see in the eye of the person that have them on them, you first will notice them moving around very quickly and agitated, trying to get away from you. And then all of a sudden, the individual gets angry and they spot you. They know it's the energy of you that's causing it. And they don't know why, but they're just mad, right? This is happening a lot. We're helping those individuals, though, if you're having this happen and you feel like you're in a place of physical not being in a safe place, you don't have to go chase these people down and however, we just know this is happening naturally. So keeping that in mind, there's a lot of individuals lashing out just surprisingly for no apparent reason, as we move through. So just keeping that in mind is useful. Hello, Tanis. Good to see you. Here it is. Lyra says, anyone else bloated and constipated? This is a really common report, either constipation or the opposite, having a very, very steady, constant, unpleasant flow. This is really, it's going to happen for a little bit longer. It has to do with the parasites. It has to do with the toxins that our body's leaving behind. Keeping in mind that the egg that became you was fully intact and in your mother's womb when she was in her mother's womb, right? Just those 3 generations. Think about all of the different parasitical energies, toxins, asbestos is the most commonly referred to, lead, those kind of things. But there's a lot more than that. Up until, 100 years or so ago, maybe 200 years ago, it was regular practice to do parasite removal practices. And now there's this fear about it. There's it's like parasites are normal. Like they're regular. It's having too many of them can definitely cause an imbalance, and so a couple of, 100 years ago, everybody knew how to do these things. There were things that you do daily. There are things that you do weekly. There are things that you do monthly, and so on and so forth. So Hilda Clark is one example. There's a lot of individuals that still are out there. The vast majority of the book burnings had to do with burning these books. In the time frame I'm talking about, it was typical to have these large, big old books in grandma's kitchen, and they were in the kitchen. They kept them in the kitchen. The pages were yellowed and colored and all kinds of stains on them and stuff. And people, that was just what you did. You knew there was something going on. You'd go to grandma's book. Grandma would go to her book for you, rather, and you would purge, and so now our body's just going, okay, I just can't. And it's just doing it itself. You can help yourself by exploring more of these things. Hilda Clark's only one example. There are many others. I can mention one of them, but I can't remember her name off the top of my head. So I'm gonna pull up my phone and pull her up really quick because I have it saved in a tab because I keep forgetting. Barbara O'Neill, that's right. And Hulda Clark, Hulda, is the Hulda Clark, and then Barbara O'Neill. Barbara O'Neill is still here. Hulda Clark has recently passed, I believe. I don't remember how long ago. Really useful information, still available. Those books, for one reason or another, weren't burned. So accessing those and utilizing those are really helpful. Keeping in mind using your own discernment and perhaps asking others regarding different types of cleanses. I know that right now there are more than ever a bunch of people that perhaps they think it's going to help you. Perhaps they don't. However, there are some different cleanses out there that aren't going to help us out, and that are also overly priced by quite a lot. So just keep in mind using your own discernment, asking your own guides, using the lean test, the tap test. There's a lot of different ways to kind of ask those questions, inside, you know what I mean? So keeping that in mind. Been rinsing with salt water for the last two days. Awesome. Yeah, this is something that we're strongly guided to do right now. It's kind of crazy how quickly it helps. Also, drinking the last bit of it and swallowing it is what I've been guided to do. It has helped me quite a lot. So our bodies have a depletion of salt, though not everybody. I know that there are some individuals that salt isn't that harmonious for them. There's something about how they, so keep that in mind, and you know your body more than anyone else, right? So Lavender says, my little starseed spent 4 hours in our swimming pool. It's saltwater. Awesome. Yeah. These kiddos know, man. They know. They know. Same. I mean, for my kiddo, it's the bathtub, and she always wants more salt in there, and you should see her. Oh my gosh. It's all about the salt right now. It's crazy how much salt. Yeah. Meditation is also, the savior. Letting yourself meditate. It's not, you don't need to, there's not any rules. Like I always thought there were rules. You're not supposed to have any thoughts. If you're doing it right, the thoughts won't come in. I'm supposed to be sitting completely still. If something's itching on my body, I'm not allowed to scratch it. Those are all faulty and not correct, by the way. Pardon me. And so, just allowing yourself to just flow. I've been doing a lot of like shifting. So like I'll do like the swirl thing when I'm meditating. It's whatever I'm supposed to do, just allow yourself to do it. The great number of rules aren't really correct, right? And if there's not one right way to do it, I guess is a better way to say it. It doesn't have to be guided meditation. You can put on some happy music and just focus on your breathing. You could be going for a complete journey, into this amazing place, that you've never seen before. I know that for me, we get catapulted into worlds that are the world we're in, but it's a different world, like where the liquid rainbow rivers move through the skies, like that's here. We're actually seeing what is here typically in these places. It's just that we maybe aren't always able to see them, outside of a meditation state. Yeah, one hair at a time or try waxing, not advisable. I was thinking you were talking about what I was saying when you pull one hair at a time. This is addressing one thing at a time when it comes to self-healing, healing the trauma, healing whatever it is that's in the way at this time. The victim mentality is not serving anyone at all in any way. That's not to say that what was done is okay. We're not saying that the behavior is acceptable and to do it more. That is the exact opposite of what we're saying. I also am the first one to say, I'm going to rip out your throat and shove it up your ass if you try to hurt blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, I'll stand up. I'll step up. However, things that have already occurred still affecting an individual is all on me or the person that's having that experience. It's about what other I've chosen to allow myself to ignore the healing and to stay in the place of density and of unpleasant. It's like a prison. It's a prison. I saw, I don't know where I saw that. I'm going to say hello to Claire. Yes, Mila, absolute truth. Big love hearts incoming. Thank you, Lavender. Oh, good to see you, Lavender, Sky Panther. And let's see. Love peanut butter and porridge. That actually sounds really good. It sounds really good. I'm noticing there are things. Everybody knows me and orange juice, right? Orange juice is a thing, and that is also sacral chakra. So perhaps I'm done healing that part or something, because all of a sudden, oranges and orange juice, they just don't taste good anymore. Like all of a sudden, like I have my preferred kind. I get the Simply Orange. If I'm going to get pre-made orange juice, I get the Simply Orange high pulp. And still in my fridge. Like I've dumped out a couple of glasses. I don't know if anyway. There's something about this, but so we're learning that there are things that we perhaps used to really utilize and rely upon that were assisting us in some way that aren't any longer, and so it's okay. It's okay for things to change. I do a lot of Ho'oponopono. It helps, says Denise. This is actually a really good practice a lot of people keep. I would say too, like just the opposite of fear is love. That's all I really need to know. And everything else is based off of that. So everything is rooted either in fear or in love. Well, we get to choose, right? And if I choose the fear, I'll also have like the anxiety, the anger. I'll have, a lot of that distortion that is unpleasant and not in alignment with what assists us the most. And then, or I can choose love. And being in the space of love, bringing through the love frequency, it's amazing how much more powerful that is, how much more capable we are to stand in our power. It's probably the most loving statement that you can say to anyone is no. And I just want to point that out because there's a lot of people in the spiritual community right now. They're all like, not setting, you shouldn't set boundaries with people. And, I don't really know where that's coming from, but that's bullshit. Okay. Yes. Saying no to someone and respecting your own frequency and not sacrificing yourself for someone else's convenience for that moment, that makes no sense. And then all of a sudden now you have this whole new thing that you need to heal. And perhaps you're stuck in a situation. So you feel stuck in a situation. So it's happening multiple times. Then you got a lot of healing to do. Not setting a boundary, not saying no, not letting a person be aware what is unacceptable for you is kind of screwing them over too. Because now you're setting a precedence. That person's assuming that what unpleasant, unkind, not okay behavior they were doing, they're assuming it was okay. And so they will engage in that and unknowingly accosting you multiple times, right? Saying no is powerful. And that's what this whole elastic band thing is about. The catalyst that we're having, it creates resistance. It's more and more difficult. And finally, you're just like, no, I'm not okay with this. Stop. I'm done. And as soon as we do that, that's when we raise our frequency. It's weird because I don't know if it's conditioned or what, but I've always thought growing up that when I do such a thing, that I'm lowering my frequency. When in fact, it's the opposite. As soon as I do that, that's when spirit shows up and they're like, all right, you're ready to work now. You're ready to whatever, right? And this really helps everyone. You're not doing anyone any favors by bending over. You're not. I don't care who says it. They hopefully will find this side sooner than later, because we're here now. And it's time. It's time to heal this. So thank you very much for allowing me to express myself so openly in that way. I don't tend to have that type of like fire in my comments. I'm usually very much in this place of, though this is really a strong message that's being guided me to say that a lot of us need to hear. And I need to hear it too. Through my own voice, I still hear it. So Lavender says, choose the lesson and don't repeat the class. Oh, that's exactly right. Learn the lesson or do it again. Right? And let's be honest. How many of us have done this lesson over and over and over again? I could say there are specifically for certain, there are 5 very specific things that have happened so far this year that as it was happening, I found myself irritated by it. And I was just like, why am I having to do this again? And also finding out after the fact, oh, wait, hey, this time I made the right choice. Right and wrong isn't like an ethical thing. What's in alignment with you? And previously, having been in that situation in this lifetime, at the very least, a handful of times, and always chosen what seemed to be everyone would be most happy at the end except for me, you know, it turned out to be the what was keeping me back. And so choosing myself, and I'm not choosing myself and sacrificing someone else. I'm just choosing to not sacrifice myself or my family to for someone else's convenience, for their 1 minute happiness. You know what I mean? And by doing that, I get to see it. So 5 times so far already, I've been like, whoa, hey, and been kind of proud of myself. I'm like, hey, I chose me. And then now we're moving to the next one. Hey, it's like, yay, I graduated that finally. Finally. So yeah, Kenny, choose yourself, honor yourself, and level up. Aho, exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. And thank you, Eric. Aho, Mila, right on. Yeah, you know what? We're not here to live someone else's life. And by the way I had been doing a lot of things, thinking that I was helping other people and just, well, it's okay. They're more important, or I'll be fine, or whatever. I was doing just that. I was kind of screwing the other person out of their own experience in a lot of ways too. So, anyway, I do need to get going. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining today. If you get a chance on Tuesday, it is free. It is private. It won't be aired or recorded. So if you want to join this, you will need to come during the time frame that we're doing it. We start at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. UK, 4 a.m. AEST. This will be a live channeling Q&A with Guardian. The group he channels are the Tehute. The Tehute are a collective of 12 from Sirius C. They're Syrian guides, and they're really awesome frequency beings. So you can come and ask questions. A variety of different things come through in those calls. So you'll find the post for that in the community section of this YouTube channel or Facebook. You'll also find it in the Telegram group. So I hope to see you there. Thank you all. You got this. Please be gentle with yourself. I know it feels like there's stuff there. There's got to be something that I can do. There's got to be something. Chill. Turn on some music. Enjoy yourself and be in a place of calm and peace. We got this. We got this. And we got this together. So if you're not part of the Telegram group, there's 150 or 450 plus people there. Join it. There's a link in the description of this video if you'd like. And you can find that there's always somebody awake. There's always somebody awake. So you can reach out and say, I'm feeling this. Is anybody else feeling it? And it's so cool how many people are like, me too, me too, me too. And it just makes it easier to do what we're doing, right? Knowing that we're not alone. So I love you. You got this.